Parents flew to Poland for a week. And one because of the session stayed. Actually me and wanted to stay. I'm 20 and traveling with parents is not very. I want to live in general, too. Therefore one rejoiced in the week of loneliness. Some days of study flew by quickly, and came weekend. Middle of my vacation on. I did not count on friends, they also had studies. And Saturday morning I set on computer a couple of old strategies to ease the boredom of the weekend. Apple juice, chocolate from closet. I got half a bottle of stocked whiskey from May, and sat down at the comp. Okay. I don't smoke often, but I like to smoke longer. So once a night I go out to platform with a cigarette and stand for 20 minutes. Or I sit in a chair next to the transition to ladder. So I did that evening. In me already. There were 250 grams. But since all this, recruited for the whole day, even the most greedy traffic cop could not call me drunk. We have 5 apartments in the hallway. Then an iron door. Behind an iron door. Hall with conventional and freight elevators. And glass doors to the platform on which, actually, there is a chair and an ashtray. One closed the door to the apartment. Past the corridor. Opened the door to the hall, just closed it behind himself. Went out already to the site. It was about 11 at night. Below on the benches barely distinguishable. Couples talked about theirs. I sat in a chair and lit a cigarette. Playing with smoke, one relaxed. You are sitting in a chair, facing a flight of stairs. And now, when I was already smoking downstairs, 2 flights are 3. Someone choked loudly, coughed wetly as if expectorating. Not. I will say that we are constantly in the entrance. Homeless people sleep. But this has happened before. Several times when I got up, my chair creaked. And apparently the bum heard this. Because I started going upstairs. Realized that he or she would start something too big. All the more so late. And quickly dumping the stair in the ashtray, one went to the elevator and entered our common corridor. When I closed the door, I saw a figure through the glass doors to the side. But I didn't understand who it was. The door was in a glass checkered figure. Smeared, and is it a woman or a man? I'm not made out. Walking down the corridor to his door, already in apartment, I noticed that the steps continued. And here she walks on, but the door is already was closed, and I'm not steaming myself. Apartment. Suddenly something seemed to cling to door to the platform and stopped. Became. Listen. No, when you stop and hardly breathe. I just and froze. Felt the door. I heard the sound of palms sliding on iron, namely sliding, stroking. And it was quiet, even deaf in our. The acoustics in the hallway are excellent. Surprised and moved on. Taking the keys out of my shorts pocket, I started. Quickly poked the key into the lock. As I understood that someone hisses laughing. He laughed. What? The first association at this moment from Harry Potter when he spoke serpentine. The bum hissed outside the door. I froze again, already wary. Not scary, just stupid and weird. Behind the iron door, 1.5 meters hissed from me. Leaning against the door, homeless man. I listened. The hissing subsided. I have slowly continued. Open the lock. But the keys rang. As soon as I put in the door. Something delicious. It's delicious. Have you ever dropped a piece of fresh meat on a cutting room board, or just casually on the floor? Through wet rag, starting to wash the floor. The sound was exactly the same. I pulled away and froze. The keys were in the lock. 4 turns are needed, but I didn't do the first one either. I was waiting outside the hissing door. I was already sure that this is not a bum. Anything but not a bum. Again something smacked on the door, not much. Not to knock out, just to. He was heard, and I heard. The silence was deaf. It pressed on the ears. I am everything. I was waiting for someone from the neighbors to come out now, and dispel this stupid moment. What am one I have? A young family with a 2-year-old girl, who should sleep like her parents. 2. The old thoughts are probably already asleep too. An incomprehensible middle-aged woman who, by her own, and I haven't seen her at all. Week closed for 4 years. The apartment for sale, and the apartment of our families. Something slammed loudly near the door. Maybe even right behind it. I closed. Eyes felt fear. Sounds started. Layer on top of each other. There was a rhythm. Delicious sound, squelching, hissing, delicious sound. Squelching, hissing, I listened. Something not. It was human. I got scared before. I was just afraid of this. But now fear filled me to the end. I did not move. The keys hung in the lock. For a minute one plucked up the courage too quickly. Turn the keys and go inside. My 2 doors, 6 locks, a TV and an unfinished bottle. Whiskey. That's just a great joke. Great joke, and I'm a pathetic coward. No weird stuff. Yeah, I don't know what. But it can be. It's just a prank. It will not have time even if it is some kind of Superman. I thought delicious sound. 1 squish, 2 hiss, 3 savory sound, 1 squelching, 2 hissing, 3. I'll open at 3. Let's. Delicious sound, 1 squelch, 2 quiet laughter, even. Not laughter, but a giggle. Is it worth saying that my courage and twisted courage disappeared in a second? I swear it wasn't. Man. In my life I've seen quite a few films, communicated with various people, listened to a variety of experimental music. I swear lips. Humans are not capable of this. Something. The opposite giggled there behind the iron. Door. Again slammed the door. And began to put pressure on her. Rub something that slammed into the door. And giggle. Thoughts popped into my head. What? There must be lips and a mouth for the sound to be like this. I realized that it was not it. It was something that it was throwing at the door. Now. It rubbed it on the door and smacked. Giggled, paused to squish and hiss over and over. And I listened. I don't. Numb, I didn't want to move. It has not added another sound to its symphony. I listened to what else I could do. Then, maybe 30 minutes later, I don't know, sang, or rather mooed. Know when people don't know the tune. Stupid, right? I didn't know the melody. But apparently she enjoyed it. There were no squishes and schmikes. But the giggle remained. It was arrangement. Like there are two of them. But it was one. I would have heard the sounds of walking to the elevator. It should be one. Got into my head. One more guess. What if he has two mouths? My tears began to roll in. I stood on the floor, bent on tired legs and quietly crying. The idea came to my head to scream. Wake up all the neighbors so that there are people. For it to go away. Because of crying, I exhaled loudly. Blowing. Stopped. It became quiet. I was waiting for a squelch. Schmeikany laughter. No matter, silence. I've been waiting. About 15 minutes. I sat on the floor right outside my door. Keys hung in the castle. Silence as a bomb covered her head. I could breathe. Relax your legs. Could thinly cry from joy and fear at the same time. It's gone. Let me not hear his steps. Or the elevator. It was silent. So it was gone. Later. 10 minutes. I have already started to justify situation. Considering it someone's evil and very cunning trick. First class prank joke over. Late guy. Quiet in my head. The mind came a thin melody. As if the child sings it in silence. Gentle angelic voice like lighthouse glow. Darkness. Immediately imagined a boy in a dark forest. Wandering along the path and singing. Thin voice of an old song. And from the bowl. Scary creatures are watching him. And the song is the boy's only hope. Weird. What song is this? I sat on the tiled floor of the corridor and listened. I wiped my tears from face and ruffled hair touched his right ear. Angelic singing twitched. I heard it not in my head. It was it that sang for her. Door. I froze and it confirmed my guessing. Giggled. A little boy sang. Something mumbled. It giggled. Schmeek squelch. His silence laughter ball. I switched off. In the morning my father woke me up from a young family's accompanying his daughter to kindergarten. I thought I lost consciousness. Returning from a walk, the neighbors are aware. My habit, I did not dissuade him. One silently entered his room, turned off the TV. Cooked breakfast, showered. Wrote to the family. Uncles and aunts that came to visit him for 3 days before the arrival of the parents. They were surprised, but agreed. I got dressed, packed my things and went to the site. There were no sounds. The lift area was clean. Nothing that reminded me of last night. On the street I was pleasantly delighted with the summer day. Teenagers, mothers with children, old people. I even smiled. On a bench next to the concierge was sitting at the entrance when greeted. She smiled. We talked. I know her well. And you are also leaving in the last days. All the entrance is on pins and needles. Everything is somewhere parted. Soon I'll be left alone with. Do not bring this, Lord, she said, and crossed herself. With what it is, it surprised. Well, you know, wandering around at night. I have nightmare from him. Schmeek, boom, squelch. Then sing. Then it will hum, no rest. Everything is up to the grave. Wants to bring. Before the arrival of my parents, I did not go to the apartment. Was returning.